Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you have had a great week. I hope you're all starting a fantastic weekend. In this class, students, we are looking at an IELTS reading section about tigers. This reading could be in your academic or it could be section 3 of your general IELTS exam. Welcome Chayani, hi Jot, hi bodybuilding motivation, Minakshi, Nasser. Good to see many of our subscribers. This is a subscribers chat class, so subscribers and members can join the chat. It's a great time to subscribe to our channel. We have lots of videos coming out for you each week, lots of live IELTS lessons as well. Our materials do come from aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Today's reading passage is actually coming from our AE Help websites. These websites are the textbooks, the materials for these live classes. So if you are enjoying these live classes, make sure to join the premium IELTS package to get all of the practice exams, lesson videos, interactive courses, apps for your phone. And you do that by clicking this big red button just above my head there. We will use the website today to do some reading and answering questions with students as well. We are an IDP affiliate, British Council partner. I'm a certified British Council agent. We are an IELTS test registration center, so we know what we are doing when it comes to the IELTS exam. Nirjal, good luck on your IELTS exam. Tomorrow, Gashemi, it's nice to meet you as well. More people are joining in. Students, for general IELTS, same idea, green background. Click this big red button that's just above my head there to join the premium IELTS package. You are in good hands with us. Again, you can use this code on the websites when you're purchasing full 9 for a 10% discount. Okay, FULL9, because we want you to get a full band 9. You can download our apps, link them to the website, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. And you can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AE Help, GIELTS Help. We post vocabulary videos and lots of goodies for free on Instagram. So we've got lots of free materials, but we've also got some materials that you pay a little bit for, and all of it's worth it. It's good to get all of it. If you have questions, just contact me, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. And you can even buy our books on Amazon. So if you go to Amazon and you search for AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS, you can find our 4 textbooks. And we've got more textbooks coming later this year. So lots there for you. We've got classes all the time this week. Right now we've got reading, but then tomorrow we've got speaking part 2, speaking part 3 classes. So that's going to be tomorrow. And then on Sunday we've got an early, well, for me, early, for many of you it's late. But we've got a light hall class. You have to use this link to join this class. It's a free class. It's on Light Hall. It's a new platform. We get to video chat just like in a real exam in that platform. It'll be a speaking lesson, face-to-face video chatting. Really great, just like the real IELTS speaking interview with the computer-based tests. So join that class and check out the speaking video that we just put up on our channel. So much there for you, so much learning, so much great English and communication to acquire. Students, reading strategies. Number 1, read the title. Think about it to predict the passage. When you are in the reading section, step by step, don't rush. 20 minutes is enough for one section or for one passage. 1 hour is enough to finish the reading. If you find that it's not enough, if you're like, well, I'm still reading, then you have to increase your reading fluency and do reading regularly. You cannot get great scores just by skimming and scanning. It doesn't work. This is academic level script. It's high school, college level reading, even in the general IELTS in section 3. So if you want great scores, you have to learn to read. And once you do that, then there are some great techniques to use for high band scores, for effective band scores. All right. Eugen, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for those happy emojis. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I see, Za, you're asking me as well. I hope all of you are having a nice day too. Let's take a look at today's reading. Boom, there it is. I'm going to make the screen a little bit smaller so you can see it better. Let's see. So, well, we've got everything there for now. This is our reading passage for today. It's coming from our second exam. It's reading passage 2. And you should spend about 20 minutes on this along with the questions. We will do that. And look at this beautiful beast here, ready to eat someone. No, just kidding. This is a big cat that's yawning. Right? Those nice big teeth. Having a nice big yawn. Maybe just getting up from a nap. Beautiful tiger. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous animal. So we're reading about tigers. Fantastic. Okay. What do we know about tigers, students? So here we have, we've got the title. Animals of different stripes. This is reading, so make sure that you are reading with me. Everybody, make sure to read together. Okay. Animals of different stripes. Domenico says it's a carnivore, which means that it's a meat eater, right? So, tigers are carnivores or carnivorous. They eat meat and meat only. Carnivorous. Okay, carnivorous. They eat meat, yes. Jason says they're a wild animal. Yes, you should not try to keep a tiger in your house. Although some people do it, it's probably not a good idea. Everything Exotic says they're an endangered species. Yes, that means there's not many of them. There are few of them. Chayani says they're mammals. Yes, they give live birth. Absolutely. Okay. Maria says it's a predator. Yes, it hunts its prey. The predator, a hunter. Yes. Chen says belongs to the cat family, maybe? Yeah, Chen, we actually say feline. Feline, there we go. You can say cat family, but the better word is a feline. It belongs to the felines. They're big. Yeah, thank you. Jim Wee Chen says they're big animals. They are big. Yes, they are. They're certainly big. Okay. All right. Good. So you're thinking about it. Fantastic. Well, next step 2, is taking a peek at the questions. So we've got lots of text here. And then we've got, classify the following as applying to Bengal tigers and Siberian tigers. Aha, we're reading about 2 types of tigers here. Bengal tigers and Siberian tigers. So more than one type of tiger. Now, this type of question, all of this information will be somewhere in the passage. So it is good to read these and think about these so that you understand the passage a little bit more. So again, let's read together. Lives further from the equator. Okay. What does that mean? Lives a greater distance from the equator. What's the equator? What is the equator? How can I paraphrase that? Lives a greater distance from the equator. What is the equator? I'm looking at, you see me looking down because I'm looking at the chat. It's on the right side of my screen. Chinese says it's a line. Dhruvyaj says it's the middle. We can do better than that. We can paraphrase better. Dhruvraj says it's the middle of the earth. Sounds kind of Lord of the Rings. Middle Earth. Okay. John B says it's the imaginary middle line. Well, what do we know about the equator? Romelia. It divides the north and south hemispheres, sure. And what do we know about the equator? What happens at the equator? Okay, Everything Exotic says lives in areas of mild temperature. I like it. Yeah, equator is the warmer central region of the earth, right? So lives a greater distance from the warmer central region of the earth. Right. Yeah, equator. That's that line, right? So you have the planet, or Earth, then you have the line, that's the equator. We've got the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn up above and below. But what we know about the center part is it's nice and hot around there. So countries that are close to the equator are nice and toasty. They're warm. Okay, has a significantly higher population, more in numbers. Sure. Exhibits large size fluctuations depending on geography. Can be bigger or smaller depending on the region where it lives. What I'm doing here is paraphrasing. So I'm looking at each question and then I'm thinking about what that means in another way. This will help me in the reading to understand the passage. So lives further from the equator, lives a greater distance from the warmer central part of the earth. Okay, has a significantly higher population, more in numbers. So these help me to understand this. Grows no additional fur during different seasons. Okay, so does not shed or change its coat. Another way to say the fur of an animal, like the fur of a cat, is coat. We don't say hair. Okay, it's strange in English to say hair. People understand it, but we don't say hair. We can say coat. Oh, the kitten's got a coat. So lives in a climate with large temperature fluctuations. Lives in areas with big change in temperature. Sure. All right. So at home, you're doing this kind of paraphrasing. In the IELTS, this just happens quickly in your head during the reading section, so you don't take too much time on it. Chayani says, but my biology teacher called it hair. Wrong. Your biology teacher got it wrong. Even if they're a native speaker, they got it wrong. We don't call it hair. Okay? We have hair. Animals have fur. All right? Fur, hair. Don't confuse them. It's weird to say the animal's hair. Okay? All right. Yes, no, not given. Is it yes? Is it a no? Is it a not given? We don't know. We don't read it. Okay? This one here, complete each sentence with information. All right. Humans are not part of the... Oh, yeah, this is all in the passage. So we read these ones. Just nice and fast. Don't think too much about them, just to get an idea, right? Humans are not a part of the tiger's regular something. While not common, the Bengal tiger will resort to something humans, especially if they are unable to process the flesh of other animals. Attacks by Bengals are often committed in defense of the tigers. Okay. Oh, next one. Explosions. All right. Well, we don't need that yet. Okay, students, let's do this. Let's do some reading. Here we go. For now, we're going to read with a British person. One awesome advantage of using our websites, especially the premium package, is you can listen to a British person reading the passage. In the real IELTS, this isn't happening, but for practice, for learning, this is really good. So again, you go to our website, and to get the premium package, again, you click that big red button that's right there. And it's a one-time payment, and you get lifetime access. We don't believe in subscription models. We don't believe in giving you 5 different choices. It's one choice, one low payment. You get it for lifetime, and you learn till you pass. Okay, that's what we believe in. That's why we have it that way. And we use geo pricing. So if you're in a country where people make less money, it's cheaper. All right, my student account. In the My Student account, we've got computer-based practice exams. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah, ask the question. We've got a fully interactive course, and then we've got these audio CDs. Now, this is going to be a reading passage 2, and we're going to start reading. Students, read with the audio. I will show you how for the first paragraph and then continue with the audio. Here we go.
The Siberian and Bengal Tigers. The
Siberian and Bengal tigers are two of the most well-known types of tigers.
These tigers are very similar.
In fact, they come from the same species.
But they do have some
important differences.
These similarities and differences, while interesting to note, are vital pieces of information
in charge of the conservation of endangered species of tigers.
Wildlife conservationists have to tell the difference between the two in order to keep accurate accounts of their respective populations. The first main difference...
Okay, so we're continuing reading like this, everybody. The goal here is to build your reading fluency, your pronunciation. If you don't understand everything, don't worry about it. We will get students to read the passage again, where you can concentrate more on the meaning of the passage. Here, I want you to focus on fluency, pronunciation, and building the speed of your reading, okay? So let's continue with paragraph 2. I'm going to try to make it as big as possible for us here, okay? So we're continuing with the main difference here. All right, there we go. That's maximum size. And let's continue. And then so just read. Don't worry too much about understanding. We will do that after. Okay. All right, back to the website. Continue with the audio.
In order to keep accurate accounts of the respective populations.
Here we go. The
first main difference between the two tigers is the location of their habitats. The Siberian tiger today lives only in the far northeast part of Russia, called Siberia, although it used to live as far west as Western Asia and as far east as parts of Alaska. One of the main reasons Siberian tigers do not live in China anymore is due to widespread illegal hunting there in the past. Bengal tigers live in a warmer, more southern climate. They reside mostly in India, but also in Bangladesh, Nepal and Bhutan. Bengal tigers are the most numerous of all tigers, with approximately 1,800 living in the wild worldwide. Siberian tigers, conversely, number only about 200 to 300 in their natural habitats. Both tigers are extremely popular zoo exhibits, which further contributes to the low numbers of both, especially the Siberian tiger. There have been efforts to breed Siberian tigers in captivity, and many of these efforts have been successful. However, the offspring are unfit to live in the wild. At the very least, these efforts allow zoos to maintain their exhibits without taking even more tigers out of the wild population. Siberian tigers on average are larger than Bengals. The average weight of a Bengal male is about 220 kilograms, while the weight of a Siberian averages slightly heavier. Amazingly, Siberian tigers can be as large as 320 kilograms. The lengths of these animals are also different. On average, male Siberian tigers have a nose-to-tail length of 3 meters, while the Bengal's length is slightly shorter. Their tail lengths, interestingly, are the same, averaging around 1 meter. One notable observation is that the farther north in the Bengal tiger's habitat, the larger the animals get. The average weight of a tiger in northern India is about 15 kilograms more than ones in southern India, where the average recorded weight is 220 kilograms. Another clear difference between the two tigers is the seasonal growth of a winter coat for the Siberian tiger. Since they live in northern Russia, which is an unforgiving climate in the winter, the ability to endure temperatures well below freezing is essential for survival. Unlike the Bengal tiger, which lives in more equatorial climates around India, where the temperatures are more or less the same year-round, the Siberian lives in a climate where the temperature can vary more than 50 degrees Celsius. Because of this, Siberians grow longer fur in the winter. For example, the fur on the Siberian's back in the summer measures about 16 millimeters, while in winter this length almost triples. The Bengal tiger has no need for such a long winter coat. The two tigers share many similarities, including diet and reproduction. Being carnivorous, other animals are the food supply for both. The types of animals hunted are various due to the different regions that are home to these tigers. Bengals eat animals such as wild boar, water buffalo, and chital, while Siberian tigers eat primarily wild boar, deer, and moose. Bengals and Siberians have very similar reproductive cycles. Both tigers reach maturity around 4 years of age, at which time they begin their mating rituals. The females are pregnant for about 15 weeks and give birth to between 1 and 4 cubs. Each of these cubs weighs about 1 kilogram and will be entirely dependent on their mother for the first 6 months of life. After that time, they begin their learning process, where they develop the skills they need to hunt and kill for survival. After 2 or 3 years, the cubs are ready to leave their mother and hunt independently. And at the age of 4 or 5, they reach sexual maturity, and so the cycle continues. One last difference between the two tigers is a significant one, especially for humans. Neither tiger hunts humans as part of their normal diet, but one of the two tigers is known to be a man-eater. The Bengal tiger, under the right circumstances, will eat humans. Bengals will attack humans in 2 cases. First, they will attack humans who interfere with the Bengal's hunting or feeding. Bengal mothers do not take kindly to people when they are feeding their cubs. Also, older Bengals will kill humans for food, because humans are easy to eat, unlike wild boar, for example. Human skin is soft and fleshy, perfect for an old tiger with weak muscles and worn-down teeth. Siberians, however, will generally not attack humans unless they feel threatened. As such, records show that Bengal attacks are far more common than Siberian attacks.
Supernovae.
All right, we'll leave supernovae for another time. Let's now do this reading together. So this first reading was for us to just build our fluency. Again, copy that native British English-speaking woman and her reading style. If you can read as fast as her, you are on the right track. Now we will read this together, and we will employ another strategy, which is visualization, to actually see what you're reading. Hopefully some of you are already doing that, and hopefully you were visualizing the Bengal and Siberian tiger. Now, when you're visualizing, there are some important steps that you should consider and you should do. Okay, so here's another very important strategy for reading, and unfortunately, it's commonly not practiced these days, but you must visualize the content of reading information. So that means that you have to make it interesting and include yourself. Okay? So what's a good way to do that when you're reading? Well, let's find out from our students that are watching. Okay? Karan, good job on those scores. Send me a testimonial. I love it. I just read your testimonial real quick there, Karan Mahal, and that's great. Email it to me, Karan. Okay, so now we're going to do some reading. To volunteer for reading, go to aehelp.com, create an account. You can create a free account if you want. This doesn't cost money, okay? And then we're going to use the student partner speaking to do reading. So what I mean is go to the website. This is aehelp.com, log in. I'm already logged in. And then we have the student partner speaking right there, okay? So again, this is at aehelp.com, okay? So go there, create an account, log in, and then click on this student partner speaking. That's right there. And then you will be able to volunteer to read. Okay, make sure your microphone is enabled. Make sure you enable the settings, and you will see, like here, there's a big list of people. We've got Suman, Diotr, Dilip, Diad, Jiwen. So lots of people in here. And then you will see me. I will be Master, all capital letters, all big letters like this. Master. And click on the blue envelope beside my name, Master, and then say, I want to volunteer. And then I will be able to engage with you. And we'll practice some reading. Baljit, I got your email. Thank you so much. I really want to get a video testimonial from you, but I will contact you about that soon, okay? All right. So let's pick someone here. Javidan. Let's try Javidan today to start. Are you ready? Javidan. And congrats, Baljit. By the way, those are fantastic scores. Okay, really good. Really, really good. Kind of what I predicted. I wish you just got a half band more in that writing, but it's okay. It's okay. 6 is solid. All right, so Javidan, if you're there, let me know. There we go. Hello, Javidan. I hear that you picked up. I don't hear your voice yet, though. Make sure your mic is turned on, turned up. Make sure you got a good connection that's stable. Are you there? All right. Well, I can't hear Javidan, so either something with the permissions or something with the internet on that end. All right, Javidan, test your settings with some of the other students in here. Just send somebody else a message and say, hey, can you help me with this? I need to test my settings. Okay, test your settings. So let's try Piotr. Piotr, are you ready? I'm going to take as many volunteers today as possible, so hang in there, everybody. Piotr, are you there? And again, test your settings, students, to make sure it works. It works for, I would say, 9 out of 10 people.
Hello.
Hi, Piotr. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Piotr, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Moscow, the capital of Russia.
From the capital of Russia, Moscow. All right. Well, I hope your weekend is going well, Piotr. Okay, Piotr, let's get into some reading. So right now we're doing this reading on Bengal Tigers. I just gave that suggestion to visualize. And when you're reading, to make your reading really effective, and to remember the information that you're reading and the sequence of the information, so what came first, second, third, it's really important to include yourself in the picture, in the images, in the content. So you see this passage and you see the picture now on the screen, and it says animals of different stripes. We see this tiger yawning. How are you going to include yourself into this information? So who will you be when you read this?
I want to be a photographer, I think.
Great.
Who takes pictures of these animals.
Sure. So you're hiding in the bush.
Yeah.
And you're taking pictures. All right. Good. Yeah. So that's great. I think that's a fantastic way to include yourself. So you're imagining that you're in the jungle, maybe in Russia. Well, you're already in Russia, but you're traveling to a different part of Russia, or in Siberia, right? Or you travel to India, right, to check out the Bengal Tigers. Okay. Good. Yeah. Good. That's great. All right. So what I would like you to do then is just read the title and read this first paragraph, the Siberian and Bengal Tigers. Go ahead, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Animals of different stripes. The Siberian and Bengal tigers are two of the most well-known types of tigers. These tigers are very similar. In fact, they come from the same species, but they do have some important differences. These similarities and differences, while interesting to note, are vital pieces of information for the people in charge of the conservation of endangered species of tigers. Wildlife conservationists have to tell the difference between the two in order to keep accurate counts of the respective populations.
Fantastic. So, Piotr, the photographer, what are you seeing here? So what did you actually do? What did you see when you read this information?
I see two tigers that differ, but they have some similarities.
Okay. So here, what you're doing is you're just repeating the information that you read, which is okay, but to increase the power of comprehension, so your understanding of the reading, what you want to do is you want to adapt that information to your context. So you said you're a photographer, right? Yeah. If I'm a photographer in this case and I'm reading this, what I would picture to lock this information into my head is two pictures. I took a picture of a Siberian tiger and I took a picture of a Bengal tiger. I have a couple of pictures and I gave them to a scientist so that they can count them.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
That makes sense, yeah.
Right? And now that information is locked. Now you know that, okay, the introduction is about introducing these two types, right, and their importance for scientists. So I took two pictures. Here you guys go. You guys use that for your biology book. Let's do the next paragraph. So read this next one for me as well, Piotr. The first main difference.
Okay. The first main difference between the two tigers is the location of their habitats. The Siberian tiger today lives only in the far northwest part of Russia called Siberia, although it used to live as far west as Western Asia and as far east as parts of Alaska. One of the main reasons Siberian tigers do not live in China anymore is due to widespread illegal hunting there in the past. Bengal tigers live in a warmer, more southern.
It's coming.
Okay. Southern climate, I think. They reside mostly in India, but also in Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan. Bengal tigers are the most numerous of all tigers, with approximately 1800 living in the wild worldwide. Siberian tigers, conversely, number only about 200 or 300 in their numerous habitats.
Good. What do you see, photographer Piotr?
I see that, some desert of Siberia, and there is one tiger, and India, some landscapes of India. And I have a lot of. Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
I see that in India there are more tigers than in Siberia.
Very good.
So it's like India has more people and also tigers.
Very good. Keep it to the photography, right? You said you're the photographer, right? So you want to stick to photography, but you're doing better. So you're starting to realize the trick here, how to do this, right? So if I'm the photographer, if I'm doing this, I see myself in northeast Russia in a big coat. It's super cold. Like I've got ice on my mustache, ice on my face, and I'm waiting there for a long time, waiting for this one tiger to come out on the snow. Right, and finally there it is, and it's like, okay, awesome, and there's that tiger, and I got it. And then I can't seem to take pictures of them anywhere else, like none in China, none in Alaska, so I don't even go there. But then I travel to India to take pictures of some tigers, and I go to the jungle, and boom, there's like 5 of them, and I take a picture, and there's 5 in one picture, and I can see that in my head as this photographer, as I'm reading this and picking out these little pieces of information. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, it's a good explanation.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be complicated, and you don't have to understand every little detail, just these key parts. And once you connect them to yourself, it creates a timeline and a story in your head so that when you get to the questions, you don't have to search. Because most students, when they do the IELTS, the biggest problem that they have, the number one challenge, difficulty they get into, is they don't know where they read the information, they can't remember what they read, and they spend way too much time searching for answers. Do you get what I'm saying, Petra?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a lot of people say, oh, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time in the reading. It's not that you don't have enough time. I think most candidates actually have enough time to read it comfortably and the questions. The problem is with the searching. I see candidates running out of time all the time because they're searching forever. So we have to stop that searching and know what the information is. And this is a great way to do that, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Piotr, that was, I hope I'm kind of pronouncing your name right. That was fantastic.
Piotr. Yeah.
Piotr.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you so much for being my first reading volunteer. Keep up the good studies and remember to visualize. Reading can become a lot of fun if you do this as well. That's the other benefits. It becomes more fun. Okay.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Bye, Piotr. Okay, that was Piotr from Moscow. Let's give him a thumbs up. That was really good. So good reading, solid speed. Good comprehension. Most of the words were absolutely pronounced clearly. Let's take somebody else. I don't think we've heard from who? Who haven't we heard from? Let's take Lola here. Lola, are you ready? All right. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. That's good. Nice support. Lola, if you're there, let me know, and then I'll reach out to you. Okay, yes, you are. Awesome. Yeah, hang in there. Great. Lola, I hear that you picked up. Can you give me a sign? I kind of hear something. Lola?
Can you hear me?
I can now. You're a little bit quiet. Can you speak a little bit louder or move closer to the microphone?
Okay.
How are you, Lola?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I am doing great. Lola, even a bit louder if you can, or a little bit closer to the microphone if you can. Where are you calling from, Lola?
I'm from Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan. Awesome. Are you in Tashkent?
Yes.
Oh, that was just a wild guess. It's like the first city that comes to mind for me. Okay, Lola, help me with some reading. So read this paragraph whenever you're ready. Now, before you start reading, quick question. How are you visualizing this? So how are you including yourself into this information?
I have got a great visualizing.
Okay. So, and how are you including yourself? So how do you put yourself into this content or into this info? Who are you? So Piotr was a photographer. Who would you like to be?
Maybe tourist.
Okay, sure. So you're an eco-tourist. All right, sure. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do this. All right, so go ahead and read from Both Tigers.
Okay. Both tigers are extremely popular zoo exhibits, which further contributes to the low numbers of both, especially the Siberian tiger. There have been efforts to breed Siberian tigers in captivity, and many of these efforts have been successful. However, the offspring are unfit to live in the wild. At the very last, these efforts are used to maintain the exhibits without taking even more tigers out of the wild population. Siberian tigers, on average, are larger than Bengals. The average weight of a Bengal male is about 220 kilograms, while the weight of a Siberian average slightly heavier. Siberian tigers can be up as 320 kilograms. The less of these animals are going.
It's coming.
These animals are also different. On average, males have a nose to tail length of 3 meters, while the Bengal's length is slightly shorter. Their tail length is interestingly at the same, average about 1 meter. One notable observation is that the farther north in the Bengal tiger's habitat, the larger the animals get. The average weight of a tiger in northern India is about 15 kilograms more than ones in southern India, where the average recorded weight is 220 kilograms. Another
Wonderful. Whoa, stop there. Wonderful. So that was 2 paragraphs. So that's good. We'll stop there. Before we rush into another paragraph, what do you see? So you said you're a tourist. So what do you see as this tourist?
I saw Bengal tiger in the northern India has a big Bengal tiger.
That's what you read. But that's not necessarily what you should see. You are a tourist, so you see yourself as a tourist. You've got your tourist hat, you've got your camera, you've got your backpack. As the tourist, you should have seen yourself in a location first. Where were you? According to what you were reading, you should have seen yourself in some kind of a location. What kind of a location?
Zoo?
At the zoo, exactly. You're at the zoo. Awesome. And that could even be in Uzbekistan. It doesn't have to be in Russia or India. You're just at the zoo in Tashkent. Okay. So do you have a zoo in Tashkent?
Sorry?
Do you have a zoo at Tashkent?
That? Yes.
Yeah, you do have a zoo. Okay. You have tigers at the zoo?
Yes.
See, cool. Right on. There you go. So you're at the Tashkent Zoo. Okay, you're at the zoo, and you're this tourist at the zoo. What do you see?
Yes. I see 2 tigers, I guess.
Yeah.
One is big, which has more red than another one.
Yeah.
And more about weight.
Yeah. Okay. What do they have? When you're at the zoo and you're looking at some animals like the tiger, okay, then at the zoo they usually have something in front of the exhibit, the cage. What do they have?
Animals?
Like information, right? They usually have like a little picture with like where the animal comes from, what they eat. They have the name of the animal, right? So in the zoos, they always have like an information plaque. It's called a plaque that they have in front of it. So, good visualization here would be you're at the zoo and, you've got one plaque there. I'm actually drawing the picture for you here. So you have number 1 here, the Siberian tiger, number 2 there. And you're like, oh, interesting. Okay, that's the Siberian, that's the Bengal, and they kind of look different. One's a bit smaller, one's a bit bigger. You're taking some pictures, and there you are. You like the beautiful picture I drew of you there, Lola? See, with your backpack. There's your backpack because you're a tourist. Okay, so that's what you should be seeing. Okay, that's the way that you can remember and differentiate that information. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
All right, so that's what you want to do. So here I'm really focusing on comprehension. Okay, when we were doing the reading with a British woman, that was for fluency. But right now, I really want everybody to just learn and understand the information. Okay, so don't just report. You don't want to just report the information. You want to be in it. You want to see it. Okay?
Okay.
All right, but good reading. All right. Thank you so much, Lola. I hope you have an awesome rest of the day. Hang in there. We'll get to the questions soon, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Lola.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Have a good day.
All right, let's give Lola a thumbs up. Lola really wanted to keep going there, and I love the ambition, Lola, to keep going. Let's take somebody else today. Sarah, we haven't heard from you in a while. Sarah's one of our longtime members in France. Let's see if she would like to read. Are you ready, Sarah, to read? It's good to be a member. It's good to keep coming back. I see you in there, Masala, Chayani as well. Joaquin is coming back. That's nice to see as well. So I'm going to get to as many of you. We've got lots of time for reading and questions. So let's do this, everyone. Let's keep it rolling. All right.
Hello?
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
How is your weekend so far?
It's absolutely not good.
Oh, no.
My exam is tomorrow and I'm freaking out.
Step number 1, stop freaking out. That's never good. That's never good. All right. Number 2, good luck on your exam tomorrow. Is it the whole exam, speaking and reading, writing, listening, everything?
Yeah, everything. And I might be available to be on the speaking part too. So I'm wishing that I would be able to attend and practice a bit because it's before my my speaking exam.
Okay. All right. Well, you're here now. That's great. And I'm sure you'll do well. Just stay calm, take a deep breath, drink a sip of cold water. That always helps to calm the nerves. So take some cold water with you if you feel nervous. Okay. And worst case scenario, you just put the cold water right on your head and you're good. No, don't do that. It'll short circuit the computers and they'll probably freak out at the exam center. That was just a joke. But taking a sip of cold water is a good idea. All right, Sarah, With you in spirit. Are you ready to read? Nope, we're losing connection here. Are you still with me, Sarah? I figured we might have lost her when she wasn't laughing about that cold water comment. Sarah, I think I've lost you, but I'll try to come back to you. Here is a request for whoever is volunteering. Okay. Make sure that you have an idea of what you are or who you are in the visualization. That was going to be my next question for Sarah. Just like I asked Piotr about who he is, and he said photographer, and then Lola said a tourist. I'm going to ask you who or what you are. Okay, so let's hop back here. Good internet connections, everyone. Sarah, I can't hear you anymore. I think we've lost the connection. So I'll come back to you, Sarah. Don't worry. We'll try somebody else in the meantime. Let's try Joaquin. Joaquin, are you ready? Okay, and then I'll circle back to you after. I'll give you a chance, Sarah, to reset your computer or to check your connection. Okay. Joaquin, if you're there, let me know, and then we'll hand this paragraph over to you. I see, Sarah, you got a phone call. Yeah, phone calls always supersede applications. Okay, Joaquin, yeah, that's the design of every phone, right? Your phone calls will always knock out WhatsApp or something like that, so.
Hello.
Hi, Joaquin.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic.
And you're in Mexico, right, Joaquin?
Yes, I am from the south of Mexico, in a state called Tabasco.
Tabasco. Like the sauce. I love
Yes.
the sauce. I have it in my fridge. Does Tabasco come from, like, I mean, maybe it's a silly question, but is that where it was invented? Tabasco is from, in the state of Tabasco?
I don't know exactly, but
Okay. That would be my guess, right? It's a good guess, maybe.
yeah.
Okay, Joaquin, let's continue with the reading. Who are you? So how will you see yourself in this passage?
I think I am an explorer in the jungle.
You're an explorer, like Indiana Jones, right?
Yes.
That's a fantastic. I'm pretty sure there's a scene where Indiana Jones gets in trouble with a tiger. All right, so let's go from here. Another clear difference. Go ahead and start reading.
Okay. Another clear difference between the two tigers is the seasonal growth of a winter coat for the Siberian tiger. Since they live in northern Russia, which is an unforgiving climate in the winter, their ability to endure temperatures well below freezing is essential for survival. Unlike the Bengal tiger, which live in more equatorial climates around India, where the temperatures are more or less the same year-round, the Siberian live in a climate where the temperatures can vary more than 50 degrees Celsius. Because of this, Siberians grow longer in the winter. For example, the fur on the Siberian bucks in the summer measures about 16 millimeters, while in winter this length almost triples. The Bengal tiger has no need for such a longer winter coat.
Keep going.
Okay, the two tigers share many similarities, including diet and reproductions, being carnivores. Other animals are the food supply for both. The type of animals hunted are varies due to the different regions that are home to these tigers. Bengal eat animals such as wild boar,
It's coming.
such as wild boar, water buffalo, and cheetah, while Siberian tigers eat primarily wild boar, deer, and moose. Bengals and Siberians are very similar reproduction cycles. Both tigers reach maturity around around 4 years of age, at which time they begin the mating rituals. The females are pregnant for about 15 weeks and give birth to between 1 and 4 cubs. Each of these cubs weighs about a kilogram and will be entirely dependent on their mother for the first 6 months of life. After that time, they begin their learning process, where they develop the skills they need to hunt and kill for survival. After 2 or 3 years, the cubs are ready to leave their mother and hunt independently, and at the age of 4 or 5, they reach sexual maturity, and so the cycle continues.
Awesome. What did you see?
Well, as I said, I am exploring the jungle, and well, I am a specialist, and I know about the first where the Siberians and tigers are, about the temperature, where they develop better, like in a climate, well.
And hot and cold places, sure. Yeah, okay, we got that. Let's keep going forward here, Joaquin. So different temperatures. What else do you see? So you're this explorer. You're walking through the jungle with your machete. Machete's that big, long knife, sword kind of thing. And you're chopping through the trees in the jungle, right? Looking for those tigers. What do you see? What do you spot? You see something else. You don't see a tiger, but you see another kind of animal. What do you see?
Well, the other thing I think is that I see the old life of the tiger. For example, since the tiger was a child, and all his life.
Okay, but that's great. So that's fantastic. Now, let's say that you see another animal. What kind of animal do you see? What other animals do you see as you're chopping through the jungle and the forest? You should see some other animals here.
Yes, like lions.
No, definitely don't see lions. Okay, well, nobody read anything about lions, but we did read about these here. If you look at these, this was pretty important. You should see some.
Okay, yes,
right? Yeah.
I remember.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you see some buffaloes and some chital, and you're waiting there. Why are you waiting there? So you're this explorer, you see this water buffalo, so you stop for a little bit because you see that there's like this little water buffalo that's just eating some grass, and they're like, and you wait there for a little bit. Why are you waiting there?
Because tigers and Bengals, they are their food.
Yeah, right. So it's a good idea to wait by the food, right? So if you want to see a tiger, wait next to the food, and you will see a tiger eventually, right? So that's a good trick when you're an explorer. If you want to see a tiger and you see a deer, wait beside the deer, and you might see a tiger very soon. All right, Joaquin. So that was good reading. Increase your fluency a bit. So if you have access to the website, especially the full version, make sure that you're using all of that reading audio and do a lot of read-along audio, okay? Just so you get the fluency a little bit faster for your IELTS exam, okay?
Okay.
All right. Keep it up, Joaquin, and keep volunteering, okay?
Yes, of course.
Okay, have an awesome rest of the day in Mexico and Tabasco. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right. I have to admit, I did not know there was actually a place called Tabasco, so I learned something new today. Let's give Joaquin a thumbs up. All right. Let's see. Did we get Sarah back? Sarah, I'm just going to cold call you. Sarah says, I'm ready. Sarah, I'm cold calling you. It's a surprise. I told you I would, so it shouldn't be a big surprise. So if you're there, pick it up. Unless you're still on call. No. Maybe she's still on call. Okay, so that's not going to work then. Let's try somebody else. Okay, let's try Masala. Are you ready? Masala, another one of our longtime members. Alfred, I see you there as well. Let's give Masala a shot here. Here we go. Domenico says, I have lasting memories of a trip to Tabasco. Awesome. I've been to Mexico, but never Tabasco. Okay, Masala. Hi, Masala.
Hi, Adrian.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. Masala, you're in India, right?
Yes. In
Okay.
Gujarat.
In Gujarat. Have you seen a Bengal tiger?
Yes. But
And-
in movies and series, not in real.
So not in the wild, right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I've heard the saying, if you see a Bengal tiger in the wild, it's usually too late.
Yes, yes.
Right? They're cats. They're very stealthy. So if you see one, it's not a good thing usually in the wild anyway. Okay. So Masala, who are you in this reading?
I am scientist who research the paperwork on how distinguish these both tiger categories.
Okay, so you're a scientist, and that's good too. Now, here's an interesting trick that I haven't heard anybody say yet, but it's a very good trick. So, as humans, we tend to really hold on to our humanity, and we always want to be the human. So we want to be the scientist, we want to be the explorer, we want to be the tourist, the photographer, which is okay, and it's all human characters. A good trick, and I suggest trying this, okay? So Masala, you can try this instead of the scientist if you want, is to become the tiger, right? So to be the tiger. So instead of being a scientist, you can be a Bengal tiger, or you can be a Siberian tiger. You can be the hero of the story, even if it's not a human, even if it's a tiger. So whenever you're ready, Masala, go ahead and read from here, one last difference between the two tigers.
Okay. One last difference between the two tigers is a significant one, especially for humans. Neither tiger hunts human as part of their normal diet, but one of the two tigers is known to be a man-eater. The Bengal tiger, under the right circumstances, will eat humans. Bengal will attack humans in two cases. First, they will attack humans who interfere with the Bengals hunting or feeding. Bengal mothers do not take kindly to people when they are feeding their cubs. Also, older Bengals will kill humans for food because humans are easy to eat. Unlike wild boar, for example, human skin is soft and fleshy, perfect for an old tiger with muscles and worn down teeth. Siberians, however, will generally not attack humans unless they feel threatened as much. Records show that Bengal attacks are far more common than Siberian attacks.
Okay, and that's the end. So, what did you see here, Masala?
As I am Bengal tiger, I see I feeding my cubs and some human comes to interfere me. So at the moment I attack on the humans to save my cubs. Or and sometimes what I don't get some animals for my food, so I also find animals because their skin is very soft and meat is very delicious, so I like humans.
There you go. You're eating humans. Very good. I mean, good, quotation marks. But yeah, no, that's exactly it, right? So you're this Bengal tiger and you're looking at your cousin, the Siberian tiger, and you're like, yeah, you don't know what you're missing on. These humans, they're easy to eat.
And I think I am very brave from Siberian because they are
Yep.
fear from humans, but I am brave.
There you go. You're the brave Bengal, right? You're like, yeah, so what? They got a gun. They can't find me. I'm
Yes.
good at hiding. Right. Very good. So, jokes aside, notice how when you become the hero of the story, in this case, the Bengal tiger, it
Yes.
creates an extremely powerful tool for memorization, for remembering the information. So when you become the Bengal tiger in the zoo, the Bengal tiger feeding its cubs, the Bengal tiger looking at the size of its tail, the Bengal tiger being like, well, I don't need to grow long hair because I don't have those freezing cold temperatures like you there, Jim, up in northern Russia, right? So when you become the main character or characters in the story, then you can really remember information, and then you don't have to spend minutes and minutes searching the text for what you were reading or when you were reading it. Okay. All right. Okay, Masala, help me out a little bit here. Let's do a couple questions together. So read this first one for me, just the instructions.
Classify the following facts as applied to A. Bengal tigers. B1 is Siberian tigers.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Write the correct letter A or B in boxes 14 to 18 on your answer sheet.
Okay, so A, Bengal tigers, B, Siberian tigers. Very important to read that clearly because, you know, for some people in their head, they might get confused like B, Bengal, right? But it's not. It's A, Bengal tigers, B, Siberian tigers. Okay, number 14. Read that one for me.
Okay. Lives further from the equator, lives a greater distance from the warmer central region of the earth.
Okay, we don't need my paraphrase. So that's just my paraphrasing, but that's fine. Lives further from the equator.
Yes. Okay,
You're the Bengal tiger. Do you live further or closer to the equator? You're the Bengal.
Yes, I am, of course, lived closer to equator because I have no fur on my skin.
Okay, so what's the answer?
It's definitely Bengal tigers.
No, lives further from the equator.
Yes.
What's the answer?
But it means far away.
Further means
Further
far
means-
away. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. It's definitely Siberian tigers.
Yeah, so careful. The only way you can get it correct is if you understand the question clearly, because you have the right idea. That's for the IELTS examiner, for a teacher like me, that's like our worst nightmare, is when the person knows the answer. So you knew the answer because you said, I'm the Bengal tiger, I live close to the equator, but you still got it wrong because you missed paying attention to the word further, right? So pay attention to details, right? So
Yes.
definitely B, right? So it's the Siberian tiger, right? Lives further from the equator. You live close to it, as you correctly said. Okay, so number 15, let's try that one as well. Go ahead and read it.
Has a significantly higher population.
Okay. Who's got more buddies? You or the Siberian tiger?
No, we have no more population. It's of course for Siberian tigers.
Okay, careful again. Has a significantly higher population.
Okay.
Higher means more, right?
Yes.
So who has more buddies? You, the Bengal tiger, or your cousin, the Siberian tiger? And you correctly answered this one as well, so be careful.
It's Bengal tigers?
Yeah,
Or
it's A. Yeah.
Okay.
You've got way more buddies. You've got like 10 times more buddies, right? There's almost 2,000 buddies.
Yes.
Siberia only has a couple hundred, right? So
Yes.
Masala, careful with the questions, okay? So here's an interesting thought for you. You have the correct information. You understood the passage correctly. So pay extra attention to the questions. What that means, Masala, is when you're practicing at home, I really want you to read each question 2 or 3 times and double check with yourself to make sure that you're paying attention towards like further and higher, okay?
Okay.
All right. Masala, otherwise great work and good visualization. Keep it up and pay attention to those questions, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Bye, Masala. All right. That was Masala. That was good. Give him a thumbs up. He's doing a good job, and it's a very common mistake. I see more students doing this than you would think, where they have the answer, they have the right idea, but they misinterpret the question. So be really careful with that, okay? All right. Let's hop over to Karem. Let's see what Karem is doing, and if they're ready. Are you ready to help me with some questions, Karem? Okay, are you ready, Karem? Can I reach out to you? Can we touch base here and just solve some more of these questions? Thanks for all the thumbs up, Zalintun, Flower, Sarvar, Alam. Very nice. Hello, Karem.
Hello.
Hi, Karem. How are you?
I'm feeling okay. What about you?
I'm feeling great. Thank you for asking. Karem, where are you calling from?
I'm from Turkey.
From Turkey.
But even if I tell you the city, you wouldn't know, probably.
Maybe not. I know a couple of cities in Turkey, but not a lot of them. So maybe not. But tell us anyway, because somebody out there listening will probably know. So what city are you from?
Okay, I'm living in Gaziantep. Yeah.
And are there any tigers there?
No.
Any dangerous animals? Like any big animals that are...
I think humans are the most dangerous animals.
Women?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, sorry. Yeah, humans.
Humans. I thought you said women there for a second. I was like, oh, geez.
No.
They can be. No, just kidding. Yeah, humans are the most dangerous animals everywhere for each other as well. That's very true. All right. On Vancouver Island, where I live, we have mountain lions, cougars, and we have bears, but humans are still the most dangerous animals. All right, help me out with some questions here. So we're still on this Bengal tiger, Siberian tiger categorization type question. Number 16, can you read this one for me, please? Just the first part, not the paraphrase. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yep. Exhibits large size fluctuations depending on geography. I can say Bengal tigers, maybe.
Okay, that was a great guess, and you have the right answer. Why do you say that?
Let me check in the passage.
Oh, do you have access to the full course? Do you have the passage?
Yeah.
Awesome. You have it right. It's in this paragraph here. Meanwhile, I'll show it on the screen just to save us a little bit of time. This is a tricky one because the Siberian tiger is bigger, right? But fluctuations means that in some parts they're bigger, in some parts they're smaller. And it's this part here that has this information. And if you visualized, you can get this. You can remember it. Just read it from here.
One notable observation is that the farther north in the Bengal tiger's habitat, the larger the animals get. The average weight of a tiger in northern India is about 15 kilograms, more than once in southern India, where the average recorded weight is 220 kilograms.
Right. So if we follow with Masala's visualization where we are the Bengal tiger, right? And we read this part, we can easily visualize this. So we can see like, oh, I'm living in North India near the Himalayas and there's lots of food, right? Because Himalayas are quite, wild. And so I'm big and buff and I'm like, ooh, look at me. But my buddy, Tim, down south in southern India, he doesn't have as much going on for him as me in the Himalayas, so he's a little bit smaller, so we call him Tiny Tim, the Bengal in the south. Okay, so absolutely, so you had the feeling, and when you have the feeling, go with it. Just make sure to check and be sure where it's coming from. Okay, let's try another one. Number 17. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and read number 17.
Grows no additional fur during different seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say again Bengal Tigers, and also I can say why.
Mm-hmm.
Because it says another difference between two tigers is the seasonal growth of winter coat for the Siberian tiger.
Absolutely. And I mean, it makes sense, right? So you don't have to search for this. The logic is clear. Siberian tigers live in places where it gets really hot and really cold. So it makes sense that they have long and short fur, right? What you have to be very careful, and this is again just giving a tip to Masala here, is the details of the question. In IELTS, they love to have this kind of like a negative definitive, so grows no additional fur. And so you have to make sure that in your brain you don't accidentally, because you're rushing, right? Sometimes when people rush in the reading section, all they read is grows additional fur, and then they put Siberian tiger and they don't realize that it's the no additional fur. So really pay attention to those negatives. Number 18, go ahead with that one.
Lives in a climate with large temperature fluctuations.
That one?
I think it's Siberian tigers, maybe?
Yeah. So here you have to understand large temperature fluctuation. What does it mean, large temperature fluctuation? What does that mean?
I think a climate change very high speed, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So you have high temperatures, low temperatures, right?
Yeah.
Really cold winter, really hot summer. Obviously, you're not going to have that as much in India, right? So I think they said 50 degrees difference, right? So it's definitely the Siberian tiger. So notice how when we are clear about what we read, when we have good comprehension, we don't have to search the text. That's where people lose a lot of time, is that unnecessary searching. Okay. All right. Good job. Do you want to try a yes, no, not given?
If you give me a chance.
Let's do it. All right. Well, you can take the first one. Sure. So yes, no, not given. Here's a tip for everybody. Yes, no, not given. There's a very clear strategy for this type of question. First of all, you don't read these before the passage because they can get really confusing. I have seen yes, no, not given questions where the answers are no, no, not given, no, no. Literally not one of them is true. So I have seen exams like that. They're not common. Usually there's at least one that's true. But I have seen them where it's like, no, no, not given, no, not given. And it's like, okay, well, none of those are in the passage, right? Where they're all contradicted. So if you're searching, you are going to run out of time for sure if you're trying to do a searching for answers for that one. So the best strategy for this is first figure out if it's given or not given. Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to figure out if the information is given or not given?
I think you said this information is important or not for us.
Yeah. So you figure out, is it important or not? And the way to do that, right? Because a good question is, well, how do I know? How do I know if it's important? The way to do that is put yourself in the place of the writer. So you're a writer in high school or in college or in university, and your assignment is to write an essay comparing the Bengal and the Siberian tiger. You have to write at least 800 words, but not more than 800 words, right? What do you put into this essay, right? What is important to include in 800 words when you compare these two tigers? If you think about it that way, you can kind of figure out like, okay, yeah, I would include that, but I wouldn't include that, right? So number 19, go ahead and read number 19.
Both animals are primarily meat eaters.
So here you have to figure out, is it important to learn about the diet of these tigers? So should we include information about their eating habits? If you're writing an essay, Karem, about these two tigers, comparing them, will you consider including information about their food?
Yeah, absolutely. If I would be a writer, I probably mention their eating style.
Exactly, right? I mean, it's one of the most fundamental parts of our existence, right? So absolutely. So it's important. So we know that it's given, right? It's a very, very small chance that it would be not given. So it's given. And now you have to figure out if it's true. And in the IELTS, the kinds of information they use, most people will know the information from their life experience. So now you ask yourself, Karem, is it true that both of these tigers would mostly eat meat? Is that true?
Yeah, I think it's true because they are, we call it carnivorous, and it means they eat meat.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems, okay, so this one, everybody's like, oh yeah, but that one's easy. It doesn't matter. It's the same logic for every question. So if it's difficult, true, false, not given, or easy, not given, it's still the same logic. You figure out if it's given, and then if it's given, you look for, is it true or false? If you think, okay, this is too much detail or off topic, then you immediately write not given and you move on. You never try to search for a not given because you're just wasting time, right? So that's how you do it. Okay, Karem, thank you for helping me with those questions. You've got a really good learning style. I can tell you're using the course and you're figuring it out. So you're going to get a good score. It's good.
Thank you, and thank you for accepting me also.
Absolutely. Keep it up, Karem. We'll talk later. Okay.
Thank
bye
you.
For now.
Take care of. Bye.
Bye. All right. Yeah. So that was Karem from Turkey. Really good job. He's obviously signed up for the course. He's learning it, using the strategies, and he's figuring it out, right? Okay. Okay, and Arben says, be careful, everybody. That was a yes, not a true, because it's yes, no, not given. And that's a very good correction by Arben. Arben says, be careful. Don't put true. If it's a yes, no, not given, make sure you put yes or Y. And I absolutely commend you, Arben, for emphasizing that. Yeah, be really careful. If it's yes, no, not given, write yes. Don't write true. They'll mark you wrong for that. Okay, how are we doing? Let's do a little bit more. Okay, here we go. We got time to figure out some more of these yes, no, not givens. Let's jump to another volunteer here. Let's see who's with us. Chayani. We haven't heard your voice in a bit. Chayani, are you ready? Chayani says, I will take the test this month. Chayani says, hello, sir. I'm guessing that means you're ready, Chayani. Hi, Chayani.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing fine today. How about you?
I'm doing good. Chayani, you are also in India, are you not?
No. Actually in Indonesia.
Indonesia. Do you have tigers in Indonesia?
Several of places, but mostly in Sumatra Island.
In Sumatra Island, yeah, I knew that there are actually tigers living. They're different kinds of tigers, though, are they not? In Indonesia, it's another type of tiger, or is it the Bengal tiger that lives in Indonesia?
Maybe yes, because almost close in India.
Okay, because I know that I think there are 5 or 6 different types of tigers. We're only talking about 2 of them here, but in fact, I know there are more than 2 types. I think there's about 5 or 6 types. Anyhow, let's get to some of these yes, no, not given. So, Chayani, read this number 20 for me, okay?
Okay. The gestation period for females is about 4 years.
Okay, Chayani, you're writing about tigers. Is it important to include information about their life cycle, so their birth, life, death?
This is important one because people want to know about the tiger's profile.
Yeah, life cycle, very important, right? Is it true that females have a gestation period of 4 years?
No. I think no.
No. I don't think there's any animal that has that long, right? Can you imagine being pregnant for 4 years? No, right? I think humans have one of the longest gestation periods at 9 months. There's a couple animals, I think the whale, that's maybe 11 months or something. But no, there's no animal that has a 4-year gestation period. So definitely no. So be confident. Chani, I can hear you're a little bit hesitant. You're like, I'm not, but you have the right thinking, so be confident. Okay, number 21.
Confused.
Yeah, no, you got it right. You got it right. It's important and it's not. Number 21, go for it.
Young tigers need their mother for survival during their first half year.
Is it important to know about the life cycle and the cub's need of their mother?
Yes, the newborn of tiger need their mother for feeding, so their mother need feeding their food to the newborn.
Yeah, so it's important. And is it true that they need their mom for the first 6 months?
Yes, I saw that. After they're born, the mother feed the cub.
Yeah, and in the passage it says 6 months instead of half year, but half year and 6 months is the same. So it's a yes, absolutely. Okay, number 22, read that one.
Killing is a rite of passage which show a cub is ready to leave its mother.
Is it important to know this, that the cub needs to show the mom that they can kill and they're ready to go?
Sorry, what is a cub?
Cub is a baby tiger.
I think no. No.
Say it, be confident. What do you think? Is it important, not important?
It is important.
Was that your first answer?
I said yes, no, but I'm changing my name.
Don't do that. Never do that. Never do that. Never change your answer. It's not important and it's not given. You didn't see it. Now, here's a very important tip, students. You should never, ever change your first answer. My study, Chayani, in university was psychology. And I read a very interesting paper about people changing their answers. They did a really big study of people changing answers. And guess what they discovered? When people change their answers, 80% of the time, 80%. So let me put this somewhere else here. Let me put it here. Let's put it here. So 80% of the time, when people change answers, they change from the right to the wrong answer. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You did? You knew that? You knew people change from the right? Yeah. So why did you change it? Don't change it, right? So the advice, when we learned this in my psychology class, the professor said, so if you want to keep your life simple and with less stress and you want to get more answers correct through your school years, just never change answers. Just never ever change answers. Just always stick with your first answer. And at the end of it, at the very, very end of your school career, you will have more answers correct than not. So it's just an interesting piece of psychology. And when they did this study, they did it with a lot of people. I think that it was more than 10,000 students in the study. So, and they took the average. So never change your answer, Chayani, unless you're like 1,000,000% sure that you made a mistake, but never change your answer. Okay?
Yeah, change the answer affect to the wrong.
Yeah, 80% of the time.
And I ever regret it while answering the reading.
Right? Yeah, people do it all the time. They're like, why did I do that? All right. So here's another one. Number 23. Go for it. Read this one for me.
If a mother gives birth to 1 to 4 cubs, it is common for one not to live past 6 months.
Is that important? Is it important in this passage to know that if the mother tiger has 1 to 4 babies, then one of them might not live more than 6 months?
Yes, important. The veterinary should know about it.
You have 800 words to compare Bengal and Siberian tigers. Will you include this level of detail?
Sorry?
So if you have to write just 1 or 2 pages about Siberian and Bengal tigers, will you consider including this level of detail?
Maybe yes.
No, you shouldn't. And we didn't visualize it. So the other trick, Chayani, even if you're not sure, if you're like, well, I don't know, Adrian. I mean, how do you know it's not important, right? Did you see any baby tigers dying?
No, never.
No, right? So we didn't see that. So if you don't see it, then it's probably not given, okay? That's the other reason that visualization is so important, because then you can figure out if you saw that information or not. And I definitely did not see one poor little baby tiger being like, I'm too weak to survive, I can't live. So I didn't see that, right? So it's a not given. So be really careful, because it's very important that you get the not given ones correct. If you think it's important, if you think it was in the passage, Chayani, you can spend a lot of time searching before you realize that it's not given. Okay? All right, so be super careful with that. Chayani, that was really good. You shared some really good points with everybody, okay? So don't change your answer, right? And really visualize it. Keep up the good work, okay?
Thank you, Sir Adrian. Have a nice day.
You too have a lovely weekend, Chayani, and come back again, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
All right, that was Chayani, and she sounded really confident. Chayani, that confidence at the end, that's what I want to hear, okay? Awesome. Students, we've got a few more questions here. So you've got some fill in the blanks, 24, 25, 26. So you've got 3 more fill in the blanks. I will leave these for homework. This passage, again, was coming from our premium IELTS package at aehelp.com. And to get access to all of these exams, audio, video, you want to join the premium package right here. And as you can tell, a lot of people have joined. So a lot of our regular viewers are full course members, and they love it. So click that big red button right there. That's how you join. Tomorrow we'll have speaking for general IELTS. Please go to gieltshelp.com. It's here. Click the red button. Okay. And again, tomorrow we will have speaking part 2, speaking part 3, and don't forget this light hall class on Sunday. It'll be earlier than usual. I'll put the URL into the chat. Okay, so come back tomorrow and check out the websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general. Thank you so much to all of the volunteers today who put themselves out there, did the reading, did the answering. You were all fantastic. I hope that you have a great rest of the day. And if it's late in your country, I hope you get some good rest, sweet dreams. Much love to all of you wherever you are in our big, beautiful world. Take care of the environment. Take care of our natural habitats and all the wonderful animals like tigers that we share the world with. I will see you tomorrow. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria for now. Bye, everybody.